purpose. The people showing love, but I ain't broken through the surface. Never had it, just wasn't no name. All season started working on my post game. Now I've seen you read this at the phone when they alone. I break them off and send a home. Got a game with no.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Sports Cartel, and I'm Mike Ash.
Drew.
Jay.
Big Country.
And we're back here finally after about a 3-week hiatus, and we're going to talk a little bit of sports for about the next hour. Hope everybody's watching, going to enjoy the content. So let's sort of kick things off with how the fuck have you guys been? And happy belated birthday to Drew.
Oh, thank you.
You know, wonderful party
Big
last
4-0,
weekend.
right?
Yeah, big 4-0.
That is a lie. That is a lie. He 31.
Yeah, I just turned 31. Got drunk for the first time.
Yeah. And he said he stayed in bed all day the next
Yeah,
day.
I did. I got out of bed one time.
Anyways, how was your guys' day, Mooney? How was your day, man?
Productive.
Productive? That's perfect. John?
Sitting in bed is not productive.
No, I definitely was not doing that.
How was yours?
Busy.
We don't give a shit. Anyways, here we got a couple. We got a couple hot topics for you guys. John,
how was your day?
My day was great. I got off work early. I don't have to work tomorrow. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. It's an early Memorial Day. We will not see you guys, but I am having a cookout for you guys to know on Sunday. Cornhole, tons of food.
I won't be here. Where are you going? My son graduates on Sunday. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
I'm just going to interrupt everybody for a minute. Take a moment of silence for the little kids that lost their life yesterday. You know, prayers to them and their family.
Yeah.
Something really needs to be done about that. Like, like it's just.
I wish they would do what a lot of people suggested. I suggested was let teachers start carrying.
Wow.
Teach them gun safety and let them carry.
I got one better than that though. Instead of giving them the option to carry a gun in a school with a bunch of other kids, why not just make every school mandated that they have to have police officers at the doors?
That's another idea.
Period.
But it's sad. We're in a day and time.
I went to school. You have to have security guards.
Yeah, I mean,
it's sad that we're in a day and time we have to worry about that.
I know.
You know, when we were in school,
it really isn't that. It's now. This has been going on for years.
It wasn't when we were in school.
No, I mean, we had when was the Columbine shooting? That was
going by 1998.
Yeah, I would say we were in school at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a little,
but I mean, they seem to be happening every 2-3 years. There's another shooting, and for some reason, targeting elementary kids.
I don't. Well, the supermarket shooting was that happened. What? That was was it the same day or a couple days before?
Couple days. It was
before.
last week.
Yeah.
Last week supermarket.
But that's just my thing. I know a lot of people. I know I'm not ever going to say take the guns away from Americans because I don't feel that's right. I think every American should have a right to protect themselves at all times.
It's not a gun issue. Though.
It's not. But if you look at the stats, and the stats show it, the countries that are more strict on their gun policies, they don't have
Canada.
shootings. They don't have, like China, Canada. They don't have these big massive shootings.
Australia. They don't.
I mean, I believe between the three that we just mentioned, they had maybe one over the last 20 years.
But what I can't wrap my head around is, what are you targeting elementary kids for? Preschool kids?
Well, he shot his grandma before that.
But why go to an elementary school?
No, we don't
know. I don't understand. I feel
they're easy. They're innocent. They don't fight back.
I've seen the pictures today on Facebook, and that is not a sight I like to see.
No,
it's just
I agree with your thing though. I mean, put in full force in every school.
The only reason I say that is because USV, which is a very, very small school, obviously everybody knows I graduated from there. There's police officers.
Kenton has police officers.
They're there all day long.
I know Ada has. They go walk through every now and then too.
Ada's got one full time in there.
Do they?
Yeah, you should. These littler schools, you don't have a whole lot to worry about here. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen here, but
every Hardin County school, every school in Hardin County has a deputy sheriff in their school.
Yeah. I think there should be. I think you should bring ex-military workers in. Why? I mean, a lot of them will do it. Just sit them at each end. Put two of them in. I'm not saying cops don't know how to fire their guns. Sheriffs don't know how to fire their guns. But give me a military man that knows how to patrol. They've been patrolling. They were taught to patrol. They know how to protect. Once again, I'm not saying sheriffs don't know how to do it. I just would feel more comfortable if it was a military soldier sitting there, to where I don't think a lot of people are going to be like, dude, they got military sheriffs over there, like police over there. Let's go in there and try to shoot that up. No, you're going down pretty quick.
Even guys who are active but not deployed, give them a job doing it.
Yes.
Why not?
I mean, even ones that come out and they're done after their 4 years.
Yeah.
Pay them to do that and pay them nice money to do it. I don't care if you have to give them $35, $40 an hour to sit there for 8 hours every single day. I would be more than happy to give you my tax money to do that instead of give you my tax money to fix roads that you're never going to fix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really hope, I've seen it all over Facebook and social media, TikTok. I really hope that with social media, that this is how finally social media goes to something positive. And with all of us standing together, coming together, and something happens. Something needs to change because there's a lot of innocent little kids. And there's parents that are sitting there, young parents that are sitting there, 20, 21, 22-year-old parents that just lost their babies, man. That's not cool. It's not cool to me. It doesn't sit well with me. And if they can't stand up and do something now, then fuck America. That's my exact words. If you can't sit up and do something now, then fuck you. Why don't we go out of civil war and we'll go treat them government people like we're being treated as innocent civilians. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's stupid to even think about. So
I agree.
And if you don't want to do that, which I think that's the easiest thing to do, if you don't want to do it, then I hate to tell you gun owners, someone's got to come down a little harsher and maybe take some guns away. And I hate to say that, I do, but what do they do? You get what I'm saying?
This is my argument point, taking the whole guns away thing. Murdering's legal, robbing banks. The only people you're hurting by taking guns away is law-abiding citizens.
I get
all
that.
These people that everybody wants to crack, and that's what frustrates me so bad. Everybody says, we need stricter gun laws. Laws are broken every day, and these people are planning on killing people. They're going to find a way to get a gun one way or another. It don't matter if they go to the store and buy it or wherever, they're going to get a gun one way or another. So cracking down on gun laws, that's only affecting law-abiding citizens.
But why don't bigger countries have that issue though? Why don't China, who's about 4 times the size of us?
It's the culture. It all comes back down to the culture.
That makes sense.
Our culture, the way families ain't families no more. Parents aren't parents anymore.
The way you raise your kids nowadays is unreal.
It's a huge
very,
impact.
very, very soft country.
Now you get in trouble if you spank your kid with a when I was a kid, I got spanked with a switch. I got the switch. Now you do that. And look what happened to poor Adrian Peters. He spanked his kid with a switch and he got condemned for it.
Well, I mean, if
there's no correction.
He did go a little far. I mean, that kid had like on his back from being big with a switch.
I don't remember how bad it was. I just know that
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
People are raised differently. I've said it a million times. Parents out there today, just sit down. It only takes 5 minutes a day to pick your kids' brain.
Listen,
that's it.
I love talking to my kids.
I don't want to go far into this, and I know you guys probably don't. This is my own point of view. But when you're in school, 4th grade, 5th grade, and your teacher's telling a boy, it's okay if you want to become a girl. That's where our society's at. That to me is that's where we're going wrong.
Yes,
we're going wrong on teaching them a lot of things that shouldn't be taught.
There's too much. And I hate to say it, but there can be a point in time in America where there's too much freedom. You're allowed to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and the government backs a lot of these goofy things, like transsexuals going into men's sports or men going into women's sports. Just that. We seen the swimmer a couple months ago take a bunch of fucking medals away and was swimmer of the year, didn't he?
The USC fighter, the guy went to girl and fought in a division, destroyed that girl.
Yeah.
They were talking about charging him with murder. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's out of hand. It's out of hand. It is way too far out of hand right now.
There's a point to being able to be what you want to be. But if you're a boy and you're a girl, you're a boy and you're a girl.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
I mean, that should be a line we draw.
Yeah.
Don't put this on TikTok.
I've said this before. Everybody, no matter what age, has a voice now. And I think sometimes that shouldn't be. I'm sorry. It should.
I'm not saying, and once again, let's clear this out. Just in case this goes on TikTok, I'm not saying it's wrong to be gay. You can be gay if you want.
I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that. Yeah, it's fine. That is fine.
Transgenders and gays are two different things.
That's what I'm saying.
So before
anybody tries to twist what we just said about transgenders, we are not attacking the gay community.
Lesbian
whatsoever.
If you're a man and you love a man, I got no problem. I got friends that are gay. I got women that love women and they're gay. I got friends that are like that too. Don't have any problem with that whatsoever. But teachers, stop teaching 5 and 6 year olds it's okay to get a surgery to become a man or become a
Big and
boy.
Rich, right?
Stop.
I'm pretty sure it's Big and Rich.
The country group.
Yeah, the country group. The one of the guys went. They he went to the school board because of the stuff they were teaching his kids.
John Rich.
Yeah, he went to the school board.
They got the poster or whatever now. You seen that? The one mayor or governor or whatever. It says like peace and that, and it's like boy, girl, girl, boy. They're teaching like it's okay to.
John Rich went to the school board and they were trying to, because the stuff he was reading, they said it was inappropriate. He goes, "This is what you're giving to my kid. You're telling me it's inappropriate to come here and talk about, but this is what you're teaching my kid." I tell you what, if I had a kid in school and they were teaching my kid that kind of stuff, I would have a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sitting quiet on that. I'm not, and that's not me pushing hate towards nobody.
No,
it's just there's still guidelines that we need as parents to have, even going into schools. I had to sign a paper for Avery. You know, 5th grade. You know, can she go to learn about puberty? I'm fine with that at 5th, 6th grade. My sister's is 3rd, 4th grade. What do you got to teach a 3rd-year-old about puberty for?
Yeah.
Well, what do you got to do that for?
Kamasia is only in kindergarten. They're sending a paper home for sexual abuse.
Yeah. What do you have to? I wholeheartedly, and I've even said it to my sister. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I wholeheartedly disagree with 10-year-olds having cell phones. I wholeheartedly disagree with kids learning the sexual reproductive organs when they're 6 and 7. Like, come on, you want to know why kids experiment? Early ages, because you're pushing them to experiment.
Stuff you're teaching them. I think there's certain things that should be left out of school. Politics should not be in school.
No.
Politics should not. When you're teaching a kid about whether or not
in high school, politics can be in there because people you're building young.
It depends what type of politics you get into. If you got a teacher and they're pushing Democratic views or Republican views on that, let them get their own. Teach politics as far as what politics is, that kind of thing. In general, what we were taught.
I think that's what you.
Don't push your own narrative.
Yeah, don't push your own agenda.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
The other thing you shouldn't be in school is the sexual orientation of a kid, like whether or not it's okay for you to be a girl. It's okay. You don't teach that stuff in school. If that kid grows up wants to be like it, that's their choice.
Yes.
Don't teach that stuff in school. Don't
tell them it's okay.
Don't push that narrative.
I'm not saying it's not okay. It is okay. Just don't teach them that it is.
That's something you don't teach them.
I've said this to people before that they said exactly what we're saying, and they say, "Oh, you're old fashioned. You're stuck in the old ways." Guess what? The fucking old days worked. Okay, we got raised just fine, and it worked.
Well, and it's not that we're condemning anybody that's like that. It's just, if that person wants to be that, let them do that on their own. Don't be doing it. Don't be pushing in school. Don't push your views. If you're one of them type of people and you're a teacher, that's fine, but don't push that on my kid. Don't push that on my kid. It's a whole different thing. Your job is to teach my kid mathematics, English, social. That's what
you're supposed to teach them fundamentals.
Yeah, you teach them the fundamentals of life. You don't teach them that.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't. And even if in the 6th, 7th grade, like I said, if you want to go in, because I had sex ed in 6th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah,
so that's fine. You got to teach them the reproductive organs, but you don't do it at 6 years old.
I think mine was in 5th grade. We watched the video of the puberty. When I was in 5th grade, we watched a video in the gymnasium. All of the 5th grade, our class did. And that's fine if you're learning about puberty and things, because you're going to start seeing changes. And they're just letting you know. But okay, completely fine.
Right.
But don't start teaching me the annals of sex. When I was in 5th grade, that's the last thing I thought about.
Yeah, and that's the thing I push away. Like, I hate to do this to my sister, but I had disagreed with her Facebook page when she said finally got to meet Akira's boyfriend. And it was a picture of Akira and another little boy. I know it sounds petty. It sounds stupid, but she's 10. She just turned 10. So you're pretty much saying that this is okay. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's a disrespectful thing when it comes to they can't do. But this girl needs to learn first off how to be a kid, because my sister's trying to push her daughter into being some 15-year-old little girl when she's 10. She's not even 11 years old yet. So it's like, let them grow, man. Let them. There's far more things at 10 years old she could be learning.
My oldest son Cameron at 12 years old told me he liked a girl and they were going on a date, and I'm like, you're 12.
You're 12.
You're not even a teenager.
Yeah.
Think about being a kid right now, man. You don't
play with your
even
friends.
need that
you don't
right
bicycle,
now.
Something.
But I think that's because of what they're pushing in school.
I agree.
It's making them make moves earlier than what they should.
I wholeheartedly agree. I agree with it. Anyways, we figured we'd touch on that a little bit. I'm glad we did that. I
was left field, but
yeah, it was.
Sorry about that, guys. That was my fault. Sorry about that.
But there's a couple topics I really want to bring up. One, we're going to talk about it for a second. I seen that the NFL issued that they are going to the meeting between the union and the NFL to possibly eliminate the Pro Bowl.
Good idea.
What can we think of? One, we all agree that they probably should get rid of the Pro Bowl, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's on board with that. John, you're on board with that?
Say aye.
Aye.
I.
Okay. So what I want to do real quick,
Now before you go any further, the reason why I say yes, because they're not trying like they used to back in years
there's no
ago.
effort.
Was, yeah, there's no effort.
there's
You know, years ago it was honorable to be there. Now it's like they don't give a shit.
Yeah, now
they're glad to be there, but they don't do nothing.
So I wanted to do something quick, something sort of 5-10 minutes here. What can we think of to replace the Pro Bowl? Because they're not letting that weekend go. They're not letting it go at all. One, I think if they don't want to get rid of it, I've said it a million times, put it after the Super Bowl, even if it's a month later.
Like it used to be.
So the actual Pro Bowlers
are
there instead of having all these. And I think that's where the Pro Bowl, in my personal opinion, I think that's where they lost a lot of effort, because the actual Pro Bowlers from that season, if you make the Super Bowl, you don't play. Or if you don't want to play, you don't have to play. I think it needs to be mandatory. If you want to be a Pro Bowl selection, you have to pretty much sign a waiver saying, I'm going to play in this game and I'm going to give effort, and put it a month out. It doesn't have to be right before the Super Bowl, which for some reason wanted to put it there.
That makes sense.
It used to be after.
It used to be after, a week or two after it was. And it's like, why not just move it a month out, and play it that way? I don't know if you guys agree with that, but if they keep it, I think that should be one thing that they really should look in, is just moving it again.
So I got an idea I'll throw out. So move the Pro Bowl to after the Super Bowl, like you said, like it used to be, because then the people that play in the Super Bowl might opt to want to play more. They're not going to get away from that week, okay? So they're still going to have that break week. You're going to have to fill it, right? So do like a USFL All-Star game or an XFL All-Star game. Why not? Why not let those guys make a name for themselves?
So during the week of the shutdown, when they do all the interviewing and all
the Pro Bowl to after, and then that Pro Bowl game becomes the All-Star USFL game, and that'll give them a big platform to stand on if they're trying to make it to the NFL.
Or you let the winner of the USFL, the winner
play the one of the XFL.
But no.
Oh.
Let them, the winner of that, play the worst team in the NFL. If they beat the worst team, they're now an NFL team, and the worst team goes to USFL.
Okay, that's not going to happen.
Stupid.
Well, that's actually a really
cool. I know where you're going. That's never going to happen.
But why not just do? Remember, okay, the Pro Bowl's a Pro Bowl, but we used to always get pumped up for the longest throw.
Yeah,
I used to love sitting back and watching all these big name quarterbacks throw from the goal, throw the farthest. Why not bring them events? Bring them.
Don't they still?
Not too though.
It's kind of gay. I've seen some of the stuff they were doing.
Whoa.
Kind of stupid. My bad.
They do it the night before the Pro Bowl. They do it that Saturday.
Yeah, they do that like the day they have like
We watched it this year and it was fun to watch, but why not move that the week before the Super Bowl? And bring in some goofy things, bring in a lot of the longest throw again, the longest punt, the longest kick. Like
they do like a celebrity game like the NBA, like a flag football type.
Yeah,
game.
11 pros versus 11 Joes. There you go. Why don't we do pros versus Joes? That show was awesome. Why not do that again? There are numerous things that they could do, or there you go. We just figured it out. Why not make that the Pro Bowl game? Flag football. Pros versus Joes.
No, you didn't get to me.
Yeah, I want to.
No, because you're going to go pros versus Joes, so it gives the Joes. I bet you put the 11 Pro Bowlers for the offense, 11 Pro Bowlers for the defense, and then you got 11 pros versus 11 Joes.
How awesome would
I'm
be
not
able to
in
say
favor of the pros versus Joes. I'm not.
I like that.
I
would go be Joe. I'd go be Joe.
Like,
well, you could be like, now they have a Hall of Fame for the fans. You have to earn, like, not just a typical celebrity or a fan, but like find a way to earn your spot there to go play against them. Make it good for everyone.
we got social media like crazy. We have TikTok stars trying to become professional players just off TikTok videos.
That Paul brother, he wants to be an NFL.
You can do a lot of different things. Like there's
Let's
a lot
just
to
not think about the Paul brothers.
I watch their TikToks all the time.
I do
They're
too.
funny as hell. They're just props to them guys.
TikTok.
Props
Did
to
you see
them.
which one of them made a song? Which one of them? They made
Logan.
raps? Logan.
Logan Paul.
And there was a guy who put a post on his YouTube channel and said, I've been in a wheelchair my whole life, and I finally got up just to go turn your music off.
Dude, that song is actually not a bad song.
All right, let's do it. Wasn't that good?
I mean, it's better than
It's
what
not
we
that
can
good.
produce.
I mean,
When they
Was
pulled
it on TikTok?
it's on TikTok.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Logan Paul?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's I watched it. I think I might have hearted it.
You
probably
would.
did.
Probably did.
Nope, I didn't heart it. I lied. Not on here.
But I don't know, man. You still got to either like I said, the USFL or
Which one is it?
if you want to do a flag, pros versus pros.
I do the flag football, the flag, but the pros versus pros.
Right.
Kind of like make it lose because they're not even trying anyways.
Right.
So,
but maybe if you like, we talked about before, even John brought it up before on a podcast long ago about giving them more of an incentive to want to play. So that way they actually compete if you gave them something other than just they get money for it and that's it.
I think what they should do instead of paying, they get money, but that goes to a charity of their choice.
Right.
Give it to a charity. They don't need no more money.
Yeah.
But give it to a charity. Yeah. Say if your team wins, this amount of money goes to charity.
Right. I
just think it'd be cool to have a celebrity game like the NBA does, and then baseball they have the celebrity home run derby or whatever they have.
Well, basketball has a celebrity game.
Yeah, then baseball does
has
too.
A celebrity home
See,
run
I could see
derby.
doing a celebrity thing for it. Had to be flagged though.
Yeah, it'd be flag football. Yeah,
but I think that would be cool to see some of the celebrities out there running around with some of the pros. I think that would be fun.
Have they pick former players, the coach.
Do a pass first present. Suit them up.
Yeah. Well,
Terrell Owens would be in on that one.
I mean, you get a lot of them.
Mike Vick.
Maybe Antonio Brown would be able to play.
But you
again.
don't think they could build
Johnny
a team
Manziel.
of 11 people that were either in the league or out of the league now that could compete with the Pro Bowlers in the NFL?
Plenty of them.
Why couldn't you? Yeah, I would think they could think of something that
Terrell
would work that way.
Owens he's still saying he can stay with these young boys.
We've
Said he
seen,
runs like
we've
a
seen
4 or
him,
something, didn't
and
he?
he wasn't too impressive in his last year in the league. What was that last year before?
Who do you play for?
He still
Baltimore.
Oh, that's
No, that
right.
was Des Bryant for Baltimore.
I say when Owens still had 900 yards receiving his last year.
I'm talking about when he tried to make the return and no one wanted him. He was trying out for teams and no one wanted to put a chance.
I don't remember that.
I thought it was
remember
just
that
a
either.
few years ago.
I don't remember.
remember
I know
that.
when he left Buffalo, that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was done after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Dez came in. And
Des
tried
came
for
back, yeah, and he
people.
played for Baltimore
What
for a
happened to him?
season. He
He
left
sucked.
again because he's washed just like all the other receivers who say they can come back.
Dallas got rid of him for a reason.
He dropped that.
It worked.
He dropped that ball.
It wasn't a drop. Anyways, so did we come down on what?
History could have been rewritten that night.
Yeah. We robbed. If she
Don't
what she
get him
said.
started.
So what are you guys thinking? So we got to come up with something where we can.
You do the skills challenge, then have like in the middle, like the NBA, and then do the All-Star thing with the celebrities, and then have me personally, I would do a flag football with the best Pro Bowlers because they don't try anyways. So just put them in there, like put some cameras on, like have them wear
But let
those
me ask you a
GoPros.
question. Let me
could
ask you a
you-
question. Like seriously, think about it for a second. Would it really interest you to want to watch flag football between them guys? Really?
If they're
If it's
If
like
they're
they
given
do the
100% effort,
and they do
absolutely.
the drones and then have them wear all the GoPros, have all the different angles, and they're out there having fun. There's something people
they
watch,
don't
people watch
hit now.
cornhole on TV. ESPN.
Have you ever done it?
No.
Oh, dude, it's actually kind of
I'm
interesting.
just saying, but people
I was
watch.
at O'Charlie's one night, eating, and I was just stuck.
That's what I'm
watching
saying. You
corn.
I
turn-
get so bored watching cornhole
No, I'm
on
just
TV.
saying, if you're turning the channel and you see them out there pointing, oh, that's interesting. You hell, like I said, we talk about it. We all sit around with our kids, and the kids leave the room. We're sitting there watching SpongeBob. It happens.
Hey, I like SpongeBob.
Well, I
Who
didn't
lives
say
in
we
a
don't-
That's what I'm
pineapple
saying.
under
I
the
think with
sea.
flag football, I think they would give a whole lot more effort.
Yeah.
You'd see. I
They'd
think
have a
you'd
lot
see-
more fun,
You
and
would
it'd be
see.
more.
You'd see juke moves. You'd see
Yeah.
one-handed grabs. I think you would see a lot more with it.
Well, I think a lot of them are afraid to get hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
I do. I think a lot of them's afraid to get hurt.
I don't know. Something went wrong with it, and I really believe it was just moving it. You moved it before the Super Bowl, which takes a lot away
A
from
lot
it.
of good players out of it.
And then you see a bunch of alternatives.
Can I say something? And it's probably going to be very controversial.
I'll go ahead.
But I think another reason why it's changed is because the day and age we're in and the group of people that's coming up. Because let's face it, these players we have now are ungrateful and think that they're owed everything. These players ain't as humble as what the older generations were. They're not.
I think now back then it was a dream that people wanted to play football. They wanted that as a
It was a
career.
privilege.
Yeah, now it's money.
And I think that's what we've gotten away from. I think it's not
Like, I need
the
to be
type of
good.
people that we had playing back in the 80s and 90s, even in the early 2000s, are completely different than the type of people we
It's
have playing
passion.
now.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I mean, there's some that
I
has the
see
passion
I
and they
see
do
what
it.
you're saying with it. I know exactly where you're going with it, but I think a lot of it has to do with just the evolution of rules. They've taken a lot of physicality out of it.
It's not football anymore.
They've I mean, a lot of it's safety. I don't want to see. We've seen some guys taking their own lives because of concussions. Like there needed to be rules that came into effect for player safety.
I don't think they took their life just because of concussion. I don't believe that. I don't believe that without a shadow of a doubt. I do not believe that. I think they had other psychological issues or other issues that because of being famous and money brought. I don't believe it's just because of. I don't believe it's just because of. Look how many people in the last 10 years when we've seen the most concussions, right? Or the most suicides, players taking their lives. What about from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s when football was a lot more rough, didn't have the protection? Players got more concussions then they did now, and they weren't doing this.
We don't know that though. There wasn't social media back then. There wasn't. There was newspapers. How many people had newspapers?
But it still
would
have been all over. You still would have heard about it.
It would have been a story if somebody would have killed themselves, but they wouldn't have known why.
They wouldn't have known why.
They're given these reasons of being a concussion is a reason why. But I never even remember, like you said, reading a story about a player killing
until in the last 10 years. It's all really became.
You don't even.
And I'm not saying it doesn't affect it. I'm just saying I think there was more to it because being rich like this, like these guys are, brings a lot to the table. A lot of things that we don't know as normal people deal with. I mean, you look at prime example. She just committed suicide. Judd. Winona Judd.
Oh yeah.
Just committed suicide.
I have no idea who that is.
Famous country singer.
Famous country singer. She's like 72.
I don't like country music.
76 years old.
I don't listen to country music.
She was 76 years old. Shot herself. And she had all the money in the world.
Yeah, she said she'd been dealing with mental health issues.
It was mental health issues. And that's what I think some of these guys have dealt with. It wasn't just concussions. I think that's all.
I'm not just saying that the people who's committed suicide. I'm talking long-term effects from concussions. That's what I mean by that. Some long-term effects lead to what people do to themselves because of it. Others, long-term successes or long-term issues that they have from concussions, from traumatic brain trauma over and over again.
Mongo played for the Bears in '85. He wrestled in WCW. He has ALS, and he's pretty much dying. And they said it's from all the could have been from all the injuries he had.
I mean, Troy Aikman's come out numerous times and says he still battles headaches from concussions playing quarterback in the NFL.
Jim McMahon, he has no memory of a lot of stuff.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying that this is the root of why they kill themselves, because you probably are correct. There's a lot of other things they deal with, but concussions are a long-term effect. It's not something that just goes away.
A lot of these people are trying to blame football for it. Well, this is not me being a dick, but if you know you're getting paid millions of dollars, you know the risk. You're the one that made the choice to do it and go play it. Why should they're trying to sue the NFL for this? You're the one that made the choice to play. No one held a gun or twisted your arm to go.
They're not suing the NFL. They're not suing the NFL for concussions. They're suing the NFL because the NFL doesn't want to help them battle these concussions. That's the issue.
But why should the NFL after they're retired? Why should it be the NFL's response? They're the ones that made the choice to do it.
So you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You don't think they should have health insurance?
If they got, I'm sure they all do health.
No, they don't.
No, none at all.
No, a lot of these guys carry these on their own.
Like
they have to.
Like WWE, they have no health insurance. You have to pay.
Yes.
When you're playing in the NFL and you get hurt, the team covers the cost. But when you're out, it's all on you.
That's fine. It's no different than a job. You work at the tank plant.
If I retired from there, I get health insurance.
But it's a union. It's a different
type.
It's
a union in the NFL too.
Well, then they should put it in their contract.
I think that's the fight.
They're trying to. They should. Well, that's the fight.
Well, we keep talking about that is the fight. You guys don't remember they settled that out and he had this huge lawsuit that they had to pay out all this money. And now there's a fund set up. Like, I don't remember how much it is now, but there is a fund set up that's supposed to help veterans after they leave the NFL.
I don't know understand why a multi-billion-dollar company fights to pay people's insurance, especially when, you know, I could go in and I know what my risks are going to work every day. If I lose a finger in there, you think I'm just like, well, I came to work every day. I don't get if I lose my finger, they shouldn't have to pay for it, whether I'm at fault or not. You know, it would be towards your line of, well, you mean, you knew what the risk was when you go there. If you lose a finger, you lose a finger. Well, I went there with the risk because they were going to pay me money to do it. You know, so I'm not going there for free. I'm going there because you offered to pay me to do a job. And then I
still have the choice to do it though.
Right.
But you, in that instance,
you got paid.
Covered.
No, what? Not my fault. If it's your fault, you don't get covered. Fight them in court.
You have insurance.
No, they will fight that. They will fight that a million times to none if you go in and you hurt yourself.
Yeah, you got to do all the drug tests, all that.
They will fight you tooth and nail.
The whole thing. We had a girl get run over by a forklift. She stuck her leg out from a forklift on purpose and got ran over just because she didn't want to work.
Yeah, and they will fight you for that. I mean, they fight you. They can fire. We know how firing works. You can be fired for unjustly. You know it's unjustly. You prove it's unjustly, but that $1 million company fights you and takes that unjustly away.
There's a difference.
You know what I mean?
There's a difference between your job and what NFL players do. A huge difference. They're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. They'll make more in 1 year.
They've earned that, though.
Than what a lot of us. But my point is, we're saying, well, the multi-billion-dollar company should pay for their insurance. Yeah, I could agree with that, but I could also agree with their point of saying you made $200 million the whole time you're with us. Pay for your own.
How much did you make off me, though?
You know what I mean?
Without me, you don't make no money, NFL. That's my argument to that. So you take me away, I'm only getting what I deserve because you're making billions of dollars off the likelihood of me. They're not coming to watch the NFL for Roger Goodell. They're coming to watch the NFL for Joe Burrow and everybody else in the world. So Aaron Rodgers, anybody. So it's like, even with companies being franchises, they cover you while you're there, on the team, employed through them. They cover you, which is fair, right?
But a lot of companies, when you retire from there, you don't have insurance. You go get Social Security. A lot of companies don't have insurance after you retire.
Yeah, and I get that.
My buddy retired from Honda. He don't have insurance somewhere. My dad retired. He don't have insurance through his company no more. He had to go get his own. Most companies, in your case, yours is different because you technically work for the government and to an extent.
Can you talk about your job?
Yeah.
It's a little different for you, but most companies out there after you retire,
not Secret Service.
Most companies after you retire,
you don't have insurance. Build tanks, don't you?
So why should they say, okay, why should the NFL say, well, and the NFL pays a lot more money than 80%, 90% of these companies out here that's got normal Joes working, So why should the NFL should be required to carry insurance on their players after retire? If all these other companies aren't, what's the difference?
If we're not mistaken, the people that come back and countersued was because the NFL issued money to other people, and these people were declined of the same issue. I thought that's what that lawsuit was they were countersuing because you just awarded these people money that you declined us money for. So they pretty much come back in. It's like when you get something in the mail saying, well, if you bought from Rent-A-Center and from 2004 to 2009, you're eligible for money in this lawsuit. You know what I'm saying?
But the part that frustrates me with that is really every player in the NFL could probably sue them for concussion. Because I about bet almost every player in the NFL's had at least one concussion in their career.
Well, I think if you can prove when you got it, and they're able to prove when you get that blunt force trauma.
I get that. But my point is, if every person could go out there and sue the NFL because they got a concussion, I think
Cleveland fans should be compensated for watching that team. They give us a concussion every year.
I wonder what it is they're winning on justifiable cases with safety equipment. I wonder if these helmets they're saying, aren't supposed to. You're not with the new technology they put inside them. Like these aren't supposed to give you as many concussions, and then they find a loophole between it, or it's all a game. It's all a money gimmick. That's what it's always going to be.
It's a violent sport. No matter how many measures you put in place, there's still going to be injuries. There's still going to be concussions. It's a violent sport. Yeah. You're flying at 20 miles an hour at another human being and you're hitting them. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to
That's my point. Like you're making the choice to play. And there's players that have retired because they didn't want to do it to their body anymore.
Andrew Luck
retired.
Peyton Manning had to walk away because he couldn't take the hits anymore, and his neck got messed up.
He's been in the league a long time.
The only thing I'm saying,
Patrick Willis retired because of it.
I think the only thing I say is I don't want to categorize these guys as soft or say that they don't give 100% effort. I think that's what you were saying. That
I didn't say they were soft.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
You said today's age of players are soft.
I did not say today. Go back and look. I did not say today's age of players were soft. The only thing I said was in the terms of the trying in the Pro Bowl.
No, we got on this conversation because you said that they played different. They were soft.
Subject even start?
John started it.
He did.
I never said that they were soft.
Yes, you did. It's on video.
I lay $100. I did not say they were soft.
You might not have said the word soft, but you said that these guys don't give 100% effort anymore because of money.
I think I said that.
Yeah, so that didn't say they're soft. That just means they all think they're entitled to one they're based it around money. They have no. I don't think they have any respect for the game.
That's what I don't want. That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to do that because the fact
And I'm not saying all of them.
I think every single player, 90% of the players that walk out there are playing because that's their dream. They give 100% effort. They're not looking to be entitled. But when money's due and you're drafted, you're going to have that next year. You just wait. And I hope to God we're on this podcast.
Our mics are muted.
That's what he just said, but I don't see where there's no mute button.
We're not muted on the board. We're lit up green.
He said they can't hear us.
And we did a test run.
Here, I'll just check. Hold
Did it just stop on us, or they said it just happened?
He said all your mics are muted.
Because we were
Hold on,
talking,
D.
we did a troubleshoot before and we could hear it on the video.
I did not.
And I didn't touch the board after that.
D, turn your
D, you're muted.
turn your volume up, dude. We're getting it clear as day through
Dude,
phones.
we're fine coming through, man.
It's on.
It's on.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it. Oh, can't hear you guys.
But we're hearing it. That's on the video, right? I don't get it.
It's Carl Lively, same job.
Oh,
D, turn your
there it
volume.
works. So there it is.
Oh, it's working now. He probably turned his phone up. Shout out to D there.
Oh,
D, was your phone on mute?
What I'm saying is next year at the end of the year, we're gonna going into the following year, we're gonna get to hear Joe Burrow. I really want to hear your take at that point, because this is gonna be one entitled motherfucker in a year if he dominates the NFL again. But that actually leads us into the topic I want to talk about.
Let me throw a topic out there.
Well, no, keep that in your head, because I want to just turn right into this. Jesse Bates.
I don't know who that is.
News broke today. Jesse's sitting out. He will not play on a franchise tag whatsoever.
Well, that's old news.
No, what I just read today was breaking news. Jesse Bates, or the Cincinnati Bengals, said they are willing to deal Jesse Bates.
I trade him.
Oh, that's stupid on their part.
Because they said that they think that they are priced out because of the Marcus Williams deal. Because he got 5 years, $70 million. And what I was reading through an inside source, a beat writer for Cincinnati, I guess, said that Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase are more of a priority than Jesse Bates.
I would agree with that.
So they think that they're going to ultimately trade. They think they're going to trade Jesse Bates away and stick in. Hopefully you guys can get something better in return, but you're going to have to stick some of them rookies out there in that secondary.
They drafted like 12 safeties,
Yeah.
didn't they?
We got plenty of safeties.
But I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on we were talking about before you walked in.
Well, that's what we were talking about when you
Yeah,
walked in.
you
We were
walked
talking
in,
about
yeah.
the weakness of defense versus offense. And
What we said is
Pro Bowl, Super Bowl
we
era.
think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to do the thing that most of us think they're going to do. They're going to take that super loaded offense, make sure it stays intact. And then obviously we all know if you shove all your money to the offensive side, the defense takes a hit. So they're going to turn Cincinnati into
Green Bay.
a lot of
a powerhouse.
a powerhouse, but you're not going to stop nobody. So it's either outscore everybody or you're going to lose.
or you hope that some of those rookies and first and second year guys step up and become
Well,
something.
and me and you had talked about that the potential of him getting traded. I'm pretty sure it's me and you. You know, I made the comment. I wonder if that's why they didn't take the safeties, the amount of safeties and defensive backs they took, and thoughts of maybe getting. D said my phone was up, Mike.
Oh,
King Mike.
King Mike.
oh.
Well, that's what I told Mike was maybe you guys were thinking that during the draft, and that's why they drafted.
That's why
like
I said
that. It
because
was
they
in the
were
back of
having
their
problems
minds.
getting him re-signed, and I'm sure Jesse Bates would, and he came out and said he would love to stay in Cincinnati, but
If the money's
if
right.
the money's right,
The money's right. So why
I mean, the guy is
why I
what?
say that?
He's arguably the number 1, number 2 safety in the league.
Well, they said he had
so-
what I was reading is he had a career low in tackles, a career low in pass defended.
yeah, his last season,
Yeah, he didn't have a
a
great season. They think Cincinnati is saying, did we get a couple fluke years out of Jesse Bates? And this is really the Jesse Bates that we're going to see. So
and I can understand that.
they're nervous on giving him 5 years, $70 million. I think they ultimately re-sign him. But I just don't, I think if they trade him, I'm going to say it proudly. You might not be able to overcome that this year defensively.
You can't say that because he wasn't a big factor on defense last year.
Well, he was. I mean,
He's
just
still a factor.
he's
But it
still
wasn't a
factor.
huge factor that's going to hurt. That's going to make him
I mean,
lose
didn't he
3 or
have-
4 games.
I mean, did he have a couple interceptions in the playoffs?
He didn't really make any big plays. in
I
the
thought he had an
playoffs.
interception against the Raiders.
Nope, that was Pratt had the safety interception against him, I believe.
What was his name?
Who's the
Pratt.
one? Who's the one that
Jermaine
got the 3 or 4 on Tannehill in the first round?
Bates may have had one, but
I mean,
he wasn't the one that had them all.
your secondary's already a weak.
I think he only had like 3 or 4, 2 or 3 picks for the year.
All I'm saying is your secondary in Cincinnati is already a very weak point, other than your 2 starting corners. And if one of them go down, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We still got Von Bell, but
Right, but if either Awuzie or Hilton go down, you know, you got to ultimately run a rookie or Eli Apple out there, and we know what the fuck Eli Apple equals.
but we don't know what these rookies are going to do.
We don't.
He had 2 picks
2 picks
In the
last year.
playoffs.
in the playoffs. Last
In the
year.
playoffs. That's what I thought. He made some big plays in the playoffs.
I'll tell
Von
you.
Bell had a pick in the
You want me
playoffs.
to tell you what jersey he's going to be wearing next year?
Not Browns.
No, God, no. 1, we don't need him. 2, he'll be a Dolphin.
No, he
Jesus
won't.
Christ, how much money does Dolphins still have? I don't really know. But
Dolphins
Jesus.
can't have that much more money.
Jesus. I don't know. I mean,
won't
since
be a
he's got
Dolphin.
money,
He'll be a Dolphin.
since he's got money to spend right now, but this is the thing I said with them is you can't spend it right now because it
No.
locks it up because they know they're paying Joe Burrow after this year.
Joe Burrow will be
There's not
up
many-
after this year. And then
D said
Jamar
Mooney
Chase
will
the
trade them
following year.
someone. D said Mooney will trade them someone.
Fuck yeah.
I just seen that was what do you think?
I expect I kind of figured that was what was going to happen anyway. When he
So-
said he was,
But you were
Okay.
highly against it though.
What?
A couple months ago when we said that there's
against what?
when they franchised Jesse Bates and we said we don't know if they could get him signed. And you said, no, they'll get him signed. They can't afford to lose Jesse Bates.
That's before they went in and drafted 5 million safeties.
Yeah, but 5 million safeties could be bad.
They could be, but
It might not- it
one
might-
of them's got to at least be good. Jeez.
I mean, you don't need Jesse Bates level, but you got to at least get a Von Bell level out of one of them rookies.
I think that first round they put that what's the name from Michigan?
Dax Hill.
Dax
Dax
Hill, yeah.
Hill.
I think they're gonna get some production out of him. I do. I know originally
They
they
trade
said,
Jesse Bates, they're going to get a whole lot of production.
they're gonna have to.
Yeah. It's either going to be Eli Apple production or it's going to
But
be
I
better than.
understand. I understand Cincinnati's point too, though. I mean, he had one of the worst seasons that he's had. And it was one of the Cincinnati's best seasons.
Yeah, but I
can't
think
see that
I think you're
you see
pulling
this
I think you're
guy-
pulling a Browns level right there. Well, he played bad, so let's ship him out.
No, I'm not saying ship him out. I'm not
I was
saying
about
ship
to
him
say
out.
that.
I'm not saying
He's
ship him
giving you
out.
year and year of production. He has a
Yeah.
bad year, and they're like, wow, this might be the real Jesse Bates. The fuck they talking about? The man's been productive on a high level
Since
year after
2018.
year, and
Yeah.
then he has one bad year, and all of a sudden, oh, he's a commodity we can get rid of. No, really. He had a down year.
That's what I said. Baker Mayfield.
No, Baker's inconsistent every year. Jesse's consistent every year, but one bad year.
So you can't say he's consistent every year then because he had a bad year.
Can't move on from him like he's nothing. That's
We
I
said
don't
that
agree
about the
with
Browns too.
What?
And moving on without Baker.
You can move on without Baker. He's inconsistent every year. He's never given you a whole
doesn't-
solid
He had
year.
he had one pick throughout last year.
Yeah, but he had
Yes,
two when it
Well,
matters
two in the
most.
playoffs.
Two in the playoffs when it matters most. That's
He
what
had-
you like.
He had 88 tackles, but he's never been a big interception guy. He's only had 3, the highest he's ever had, but 3 every year except last year.
Yeah, 2 in the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's a safety though. He's not supposed to have high interception numbers. He's supposed to be a
That's
tackle,
right,
guy.
Not supposed to have high interception numbers. Why
He
does
doesn't-
Reed have
because-
so many?
That's a whole nother level.
Hey, he's a safety.
We're not.
They do different jobs. They don't do the same job.
Still a safety.
No, they're different.
Safety.
That's different thing.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, it is.
I
it
play
is-
It's
safety.
like a middle
It is
linebacker
different
and
though
an
because
outside
Darren Woodson
linebacker.
was
They're both
never
different.
he was never an interception guy, but that motherfucker had
Big tackle.
80 to 90 tackles every
tackle.
single year. He might get you 1 or 2 picks, but to get what's he have? How many career interceptions does he have?
Like
He-
10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and for the most part, you're just a hover guy, especially as a free safety. You help. So if you help constantly, which could be a lot of why he had a career low in passes defended and tackles, is because they know it's Jesse Bates. So it's just like a corner taking away one side of the field. If a quarterback sees Jesse Bates drop to the left, he's probably looking here or checking it down because he's like, fuck that, that's Jesse Bates over there. I'm not risking it. You know what I mean?
I'm not
So-
taking anything from Jesse. I'm just saying.
No, don't do that. He's a good guy.
I just
I think
think
he's a great safety. I
like,
can understand Cincinnati's point too.
what happens with Luke Wilson? Logan
Fuck
Wilson,
over
when
here
he
like
comes
you
in
know
now.
him or something.
He's a good guy.
Logan Wilson's going to
We go
come up
back.
for a contract after next year too.
Let's not talk about him. Wait till
And
next
if
year,
he
man.
wonder if he has another.
You
big
guys
year.
are in the same boat as Dallas and Cleveland was when we drafted well, and then these guys started coming up, which is why we got rid of it. Like we got rid of Larry, and
The only good thing
people-
is the bad thing for them now is the same thing Dallas did 2 years ago. Burrow wants lots and lots of money. When that quarterback signed, they don't really care to spend money because it's like, oh, well, our guy's paid for. So let's go get whatever else we can because we don't got to worry about him. You guys' big thing is like, goddamn, Patrick Mahomes done ruined the quarterback market for anybody and everybody. Joe Burrow then just ruined it again because he made the Super Bowl in year 2. So they're like, ah, fuck.
let me ask you this:
You know what I mean?
do you think he gets offered Patrick Mahomes' contract or less, or is that Patrick Mahomes' contract the only one we're ever going to see like that?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, it's gonna get higher and higher.
I think
and
as
higher.
we go, fully guaranteed contracts are here to stay. I think that's how they'll get cheaper
No,
deals.
I'm talking
No, I'm getting to that part.
$500 million.
If
Of course, of 10 years though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
which is still 50 million
Yeah,
a
50
year.
million a year. That's a lot of money.
That's
What do you do with kind of money like that?
I don't know.
I would just like buy
Um,
random animals.
He
and have
can
my
get a
backyard.
better good-looking girlfriend. I know that.
It's
Jesus.
his
Well, I
wife.
mean, it ultimately-
hey, that's his wife now.
It
Yeah,
ultimately,
right.
I mean,
Come
his
on now.
contract, they thought that the Chiefs thought signing this deal to him because they allowed all the restructure was going to allow them to do what they wanted to do still. And it bit them in their ass because they lost Tyreek Hill because of it. Because Tyreek wanted more money than what they thought they were going to have to pay him. So then they ultimately said, fuck it, we can't pay him. So let's trade him.
Well, I think because he had 1 year left, right? He could
Yeah.
have played
Yeah,
this
yeah.
season and they
He could have,
re-signed him.
but you're going to lose him for nothing. They're not going to be able to re-sign him because he said he wanted like 24 or 25 million dollars a year. He wanted more than Michael Thomas got, and Michael Thomas is the highest paid receiver in football. So it's like,
he went to the Dolphins.
dude, if Tua
That's
just
the same
plays,
thing as why Cooper got moved off from Dallas. One of it was issues was $20 million a year.
Did
Get
you
rid
see,
of that to free up cap space.
Did you see what Hill said about Tua? He throws one of the prettiest balls
Yeah,
he's
better
ever
than
seen.
he said it was better than Patrick Mahomes.
yes, but he also come out 2 weeks prior and said that Tua wasn't a good quarterback.
I know.
So yeah,
I didn't hear that part.
yeah,
Yeah,
he,
he did.
he's now coming back on that.
Yeah.
He come out and said it was the worst practice we've ever had. Our quarterback can't complete passes. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, "Oh man, that man throws a beautiful spiral." It's like, whoa,
Because PR got in his ass.
yeah. He's like, "Hey
don't
man, you
knock your
can't be saying
teammate.
that, Goofy. You know, they brought you in here to be the guy. Now Tua don't like you."
Any guy that goes to another team, leaving a guy like Patrick Mahomes and then bashes that guy, you're talking shit, dude. Stop. Patrick Mahomes is by far better than Tua. Don't even put that up. That's
He
stupid.
knew that when he went to Miami.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're gonna see what Tua's
watch
built
us
from.
talk all this shit until it comes out and throws
I'm
for
not saying
5,500
nothing.
yards.
I'm still a believer in him. I think he's.
I mean, I like Tua. I'm not saying I didn't knock Tua. I'm just saying Patrick Mahomes.
Tua's got the weapons now.
Better
He's sort of
Tua.
like he's just sort of like himself. I mean, I should say Derek Carr. Derek Carr's in a more make or break year now because now you got your true number one. You got your best friend. You got what you need. You got
But
a running
I think
back.
he did good without having that true number one, though. I don't think
I'm
he
not
did
saying he
awful.
played bad, but he for
And
what
he
he's
got a
being
contract.
for what
But
he,
this is where we're giving you enough to take that next step.
Yeah.
If you can't take that next step, the problem
Well,
isn't what's around you, it's you.
I think I think Oakland came out and did what a lot of teams are doing is going and getting that
yeah, they're going to get
the Joe Burrow chase, the Tua, and
Waddle.
Waddle.
That's what I'm saying. With Tua now, you have they went and got you running back help. Hell, they signed I think every free agent running back that was out there.
Chase
He's on the
Edmonds.
team.
Yeah, Emmett Smith came out of retirement.
Yeah.
Just for them.
And then you already have Waddle. You already have Gesicki. Now you give him Tyreek Hill. You get rid of your injury plague number one and Parker. So it's like your defense was already sound.
Where'd he go? Parker go?
He went to the Patriots.
Patriots.
So their defense
That's where every Washington receiver ends up.
and Bill Belichick does fucking awesome with them. That's why I said I could see Parker having a big year. He'll probably somehow miraculously stay healthy. He ain't been able to stay healthy his whole career. Now all of a sudden he'll go to the Patriots and become a Hall of Fame receiver. We'll look at him like, what the hell just happened? Something in the water.
Something in the water.
It probably is.
It's they do it.
Hey, I'm calling this as a bold prediction. Tom Brady gets hurt this year.
Oh Jesus!
Did you see
Christ.
what Tom Brady
We're not
said?
putting that on
Did you see the
TikTok.
video?
We're not putting that on TikTok.
Did you see the video Tom Brady made for the golf thing?
With
Yeah,
Aaron
we-
Rodgers in a minute.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
hey, my Evans didn't leave me. Rodgers, your guy left you. Kaepernick, your guy, or not Kaepernick.
Mahomes.
Mahomes, your guy left you.
Josh
He said,
Allen.
Josh Allen, someday they'll leave you too. And he had Evans like in a little thing. He was like catching the ball.
Yeah, but the thing is Tom Brady left Evans.
He did.
Tom,
He came back. He came back.
Tom Brady left Patriots. He left all them.
tends to leave people.
Yeah, he's the one that leaves people.
Yeah.
His receivers don't leave him. He leaves them.
But on to the Colin Kaepernick thing.
You know,
Do you guys think he's on a let's do it real quick.
time out before you go there?
No, we're not time out.
Yeah,
we're not time out. All right, time out.
You said we're on the discussion of the quarterbacks being big money. Well, how can Denver do it? Denver's got a nice defense, big name quarterback, great receivers, and still maintain everybody they have.
Well, Russell Wilson signed his deal like 4 years ago, so he's not making the kind of money
I
that
didn't say Russell Wilson.
He said how Denver can do it.
Not
Good
Denver,
defense.
Tampa, I meant.
Tampa.
when
What
you were
the
saying
hell are
that,
you
okay,
talking
you guys
about?
just gonna
My
yell
bad.
at me.
Oh,
What are we talking about?
Hold on. It's because Tom takes discounts. Remember,
He's
Oh,
discount
he
Tom.
takes discounts. He doesn't take the full pay.
Well,
Remember,
he is only making
helps his
20-some
teams out.
million dollars this year, like 27. I thought I
Yeah,
seen.
discount
Only.
Tom. Yeah.
Only.
But that is down there with like some of the reserves and money. I think he's making Ryan Tannehill money. So this year, I think he did take he came
Tannehill's
back to
better.
play. Yeah. But no, you're gonna yell at me, and he did say Denver.
He did Denver.
That's why I
Tampa.
was
My
like,
bad. That was my
Wilson
bad.
fucking got that contract forever ago. That's how they did it. And they took a hit on defense last year.
Who?
And Tampa.
Yeah, that's why they had to get rid of who went to Rams
That one guy.
and just signed with Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Von Miller.
Yeah, they had to get rid of Von Miller.
Von Miller wasn't
He
with
never
Tampa?
played on
We're
Tampa.
talking about Denver again. I'm back on Denver.
We're talking
He mentioned Russell Wilson, so I brought back Denver.
I thought we were on Denver too.
So, like
No, Tampa. Tampa also
Oh, yeah.
lost defensive pieces this year too. You know, Jason
Dominic
Pierre,
Sue's not there.
yeah, Jason
You know,
Pierre
Dominic
Paul's
Sue's
They
not
were
there,
old.
You know, Dominic
but they
Sue's
were
never been injured?
productive.
Dominic Sue's never played injured
Never.
ever
He's never missed a game.
in his career.
It's impressive.
That's a big dude.
For a big guy.
Other than the suspensions. I forgot about the suspensions.
Yeah, he's been
Hey,
suspended.
fun
He's never
fact.
missed one injury, probably.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Zeke's played 7 years. He's never missed a game for injury either.
No, he hasn't.
No one was
Just suspension, right?
No, yeah, just a suspension. That's
suspension.
all he's ever missed.
Hey, I just want to do a shout out. How long have we been doing this?
Hey, D said let the Michigan guy talk. Sheesh.
Okay, so anyways, what was your
Hold on.
topic, Drew?
My topic is: have you seen the scheduling for college football this year? And the games that we were.
Yeah, I saw Ohio State schedule.
I don't care. The actual. Come on, man, get over.
Excuse you.
The
You always
games
rubbing
that
my leg.
the games that we're getting this year: Utah, Florida, Nebraska.
Did you know
Oklahoma.
Ohio State has a primetime game
No
with
one
Toledo?
cares. We play Hawaii prime time.
Like,
Go
why
Blue.
is it prime time with
I don't know.
Toledo?
I don't know. And you have Alabama and Texas.
Yeah.
Then you got Notre Dame, Ohio State,
yeah, week 1, bro.
and Michigan, Colorado State.
Oh,
Hey, noon, ABC. Doing it into that.
So you didn't have no topic whatsoever.
Yeah, I
right?
said, how
you
you like
just
the
wanted to
schedule?
rant about Michigan.
Big Ten champs.
Oh,
No, all the big games. We haven't had this many big games starting a year off in a long time. They said like all these top name programs actually.
They
Finally,
actually won the Big Ten, so they're able to get
why
the
do you
big
keep
games.
going back to Michigan?
I'm listening to you. Yeah, with the big games, the big
Yeah.
names. Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting. I can't wait for college football.
that's what happens when you win the Big Ten. Now you know how we feel when we get these games. Now you guys get
You
them.
guys do you like the preseason ranking?
I do. That's fine.
You think it's fine? You guys
I don't care much for Oklahoma
being number 5.
being number 5 because they've lost a lot of good players and then they have a new coach. I mean, top 10 maybe, top 15, but not.
Yeah, I think with a new coach, that's the one thing. I'm fine with where they put them because it's preseason.
Yeah.
But when you look at Oklahoma losing their Lincoln Riley, it's like that's a big piece. You know, that's something you don't know if your system's going to work, not going to, is or isn't going to work. I would imagine it probably will, but so you were okay with it?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
I see a lot of people took some slight saying the Buckeyes didn't deserve to be at number 1.
They're
But they, and they have argument because Alabama is returning their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. So they did lose their starting running back. They did lose their best receiver. I mean, Ohio State ultimately,
Alabama, Georgia, Michigan.
yeah, Michigan, Oklahoma. But Ohio State actually brought back their best receiver. I just want to put that out there to people.
They said, yeah, he is. the
And Chris
best.
Olave and
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson were studs,
Well, he said
absolute
that, yeah.
animals. But Smith and Jigba is the best receiver at Ohio State, and he has been for the last 2 years. But anyways, do you guys think Colin Kaepernick is on a roster week 1?
NFL roster?
Yeah, on a roster, not starting, just on a roster as a backup.
I don't think he is.
I guess it depends how much it's going to cost to get him.
Which I don't think it's going to be a
Oh,
whole
it's
lot.
not going to be a lot.
Yeah.
No.
If a team like Oakland trying him out, and because they said he had a good outing.
I seen him live. A workout live. Wasn't the greatest.
Really?
He overthrew so many balls. And I don't care if there's one NFL receiver and had a bunch of college kids or retired. He has some good throws. It's not anything impressive.
So you don't think he can sit on a roster somewhere?
He can sit on a roster, but I'm just saying, I seen it live. What he did with Oakland today, I seen it live. He's good, but there's a lot of overthrows, underthrows. He has some really nice deep balls, nice little cross routes. Yeah, he does it, but he could be on a roster.
I could see a team doing it just to shut everybody up about it.
That's the wrong reason to do it for.
And I don't think that's going to be the reason they bring him in. I think he's been blackballed for a little while now. And I think people, I mean, what's that say for Baker? Colin's getting the talk right now. And I read an article. So I think Colin, I don't think he's on a roster. I just don't think only one team. I think they said only one team even really has contacted him, and it is the Raiders.
Seahawks, Carroll always says he brings him up every year, but he never does. He never pulls the trigger, bringing him in and trying him out.
But I don't think he should be.
And if a team that needs him, it's Seattle.
Yeah.
So every year you talk about, hey, we bring him up, we watch his film, we do this, we do that. So why not finally bring him in when you need him?
I would take Baker over him.
Yeah, but what's a better option?
Then get Baker.
I don't have
Why
a team,
is he still sitting in Cleveland if
because
Seattle needs him?
That's what I was going to bring up. I was reading a thing on Bleacher Report where a couple anonymous GMs come out and said,
anonymous, right here again.
Come out. I don't know who they are. They wouldn't say. That's what they said in it. Said that his ego's too much.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the worst thing you can do is put a chip on Baker Mayfield's shoulder.
But he already comes in with the chip.
He
That's
already
what
does.
people don't like.
I think he has to. That's how he lives his thing. Yeah. But the chip is grown.
There's a difference between having a chip on your shoulder and going out and prove, and having a chip on your shoulder and being an ass. And Baker, from even locker room talk, he's being an ass. Well, a lot of people don't like that. They don't want it in their locker room. That's why he's still a Cleveland Brown.
But the only thing
they don't want it.
In his first 4 years, he's put up better numbers than what Jameis Winston did.
Yeah.
What Marcus Mariota did. What Mitch Trubisky did. What Colin. Anyway, there's tons of quarterbacks that are getting opportunities. And there's a better guy available out there.
There were reports going around about the $18 million a year. That's nothing. There's so many GMs that stepped up and said, "There's to have him as a backup or potential starter and having to carry just that 1 year, $18 million is not a big deal. It's a personality thing."
I did see that
it's personality.
They said his ego is a couple. Anonymous GMs said that is I don't know who they were. I can't say a name because they don't say that, but they have said that they don't like. I would imagine it's probably Seattle. Or Carolina. It's someone who's interested, who have talked, and they just are like,
But there's ways around
that. They just don't like him personally. And then the thing is they don't want to put it in their locker room and intoxicate their locker room, which I understand that. You don't want that.
I still don't think he can't be that bad.
I don't know.
I don't think he's that bad.
I think it's just
Nick Chubb came out and he publicly said Baker's not a bad guy, and there's reports going on around him that's false. He's not what it's being portrayed to the media. Odell didn't have really good shit to say about him, so it's mixed between those two. Nobody else has spoke up out of Brown's camp.
I don't want to lose his commercials. Okay,
that's what I say. Don't play football. Go into acting. I think he'd be a hell of an actor.
I could probably give you 10, 12, 13 quarterbacks that Baker's better than that start in the NFL.
I think he could start for Atlanta, Seattle, Green Bay. No.
I mean, you sit back and just think about it. If we actually wanted to sit and pick apart, at this point, he's better than Carson Wentz. At this point, he's better than Jalen Hurts. At this point, he's better than Daniel Jones.
I think
there's three teams.
Okay, me personally with the Colin Kaepernick thing and talking about Baker. I think one, it's a PR thing because of who he is and what's surrounding him with the whole NFL stuff. And with Cap, you'd be the team to take him on and support him, I guess, whatever. I don't know, But secondly, if he could still play and the throws were good, like you said, it didn't look good. But if it did and he was still connecting, you get him for cheaper. So I think maybe that's got to do with it as well. But once again, the GM that I read about said the 18 million is not what's bothering.
Cleveland has offered to pay a majority of that 18 million.
They have. They said they'll eat some of it.
So you might be able to get him for 10 million.
You might.
Cleveland's offering to pay that.
Yeah, just to get rid of him.
And you would much rather. And
it.
just my opinion, you're going to want to be in Carolina. You're going to want to run Sam Darnold back out there. Like, no. Tua, I'll give you because of the fact that his head coach sort of didn't like him already. So with the Brian Flores being gone now, maybe they're gonna test the water with him then. But you tell me you're the New York Giants and you want to run Daniel Jones out there over Baker Mayfield? I can understand Jalen Hurts. I still think Baker's better than Jalen. I can understand Carson Wentz. I still think Baker's better than Carson. You know what I mean? So I still think Baker has every bit of the possibility to be on the same level as Jared Goff. He's still getting opportunities. So, I think he's better than Mitch Trubisky. Anything that the Steelers run out there, even if they run Kenny Pickett out there, Baker's better than him.
Can you imagine Baker Mayfield in Detroit? That would have been nice.
Just put Baker with Miami. Give him them weapons. That's a lot of weapons down there. You know what I mean?
I think any quarterback could go down there and play.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold could.
I couldn't.
Like Sam Darnold.
I think Sam Darnold could, but Jones, no, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm
not saying Sam Darnold will go down
How
there
much
to
longer do
5,000
we
yards.
have to handle Daniel Jones?
Until the Giants get rid of him.
Like, why won't they get rid of him?
I don't know.
Didn't spend a first round on him?
Well, they took him in the first round, but it's been five. This is his fifth year now.
Let's talk about
fifth year.
I don't mean to change the subject, but the USFL, Michigan Panthers, the #1 overall draft pick in your history, not even a full season, and you cut him.
Who, Patterson got cut?
They cut Shea Patterson.
I didn't know that.
And he just signed with New Orleans.
Saints?
No, the other USFL team.
Oh, I was like, well, they're
New Orleans Breakers.
I was saying that might be why they cut it. They wanted to allow him to go pursue his NFL.
D said Baker will be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Browns.
Now there is a possibility.
Are they waiting that out because of the suspensions?
No, that's why they got Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
Jacoby Brissett. If Deshaun is suspended, Jacoby will be. I'm telling you, he's not going to see the field for the Cleveland Browns. They don't want him there. It's not even an option.
And he's better than Brissett.
He will not play in the Cleveland Browns ever again. Plays last down last year. I'm telling you.
Oh, I agree with that, but
they're not.
I mean, wonder if he goes out there and it's like an old Cleveland Browns thing. A couple years ago, about 5 years ago, when they played like 17 starting quarterbacks in one single season.
Okay, time out. I'm just going to throw out this what if thing. What if scenario? Let's say Cleveland does have him as week 1 starter because Deshaun gets injured for 6 weeks.
No, he's going to be out 6 weeks because of. I think he's going to get suspended.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let's say Deshaun's out for 6 weeks. Baker starts. Cleveland goes 6-0. Baker's balling out. Do you still start Deshaun
you
Watson?
paid him $230
million. You paid him $230 million guaranteed. You can't get out of that right now.
Okay, you bring
You're
Deshaun
locked
in. Okay, you bring Deshaun in, and he loses 3 straight games.
They stay with him.
Oh,
you gave him $230 million guaranteed.
Yeah, they stay. I think they're eating.
They are in bed with Deshaun Watson regardless.
Yeah, that's too much money to put on the bench. I think, and I see what you're saying because it would be really
That
hard.
would be really hard.
But
because my job as a coach is my job is to win, and I'm stuck. I'm saying, man, I got this quarterback playing really good.
And if in your what if scenario, if it did happen, they can't even get rid of Deshaun. How much it would cost them to get rid of him would cost more than keeping him.
That'd be the best scenario for Cleveland because they're getting that first round pick back out of him. Teams they'd be chopping at the block to fucking nail Baker Mayfield. He just went 6-0 and he was playing well.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, all right, let's do that. He's proved it now. Let's get that first round pick back. Right. So that could be a what if scenario that actually works out really well
for both people.
For both people.
It would.
But I still think, and that's on top of that,
he's going to play down
with the new allegations with Deshaun Watson. Since he signed a $230 million contract, new women have come out and they're suing him for they want that money.
Well, they said his suspension can be somewhere matched to what they just did in baseball. With
it'll never go that high.
They said it might. It'd be a comparison. They said I was reading an article.
What was that? When he gets suspended?
He got suspended 2 years. 2 years. Trevor Bauer did. That's bullshit. He was never proven guilty of anything, ever. Everything that was said, he served a year's suspension already, and they turned around and suspended him 2 more years.
But I could see them doing that because the NFL is going to look, well, we can't look weaker than
No, I don't see it.
MLB.
We've never seen a year
They
suspension.
said they've never seen it, but this could be the one scenario where they do it and said you're done for the year.
For what reason, though?
To suspend him for 1 or 2 years on no proof of anything.
It just happened in MLB.
I'm just saying.
But
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
But
but
the MLB is
but-
extremely strict.
Yeah.
Two different
Already.
sports.
That's a
Yeah.
Two different sports.
I get that, but the NFL could look at it and be like, man, we can't. The MLB's really cracking out. Maybe
But
we
that's,
should.
that's
I
the
think-
thing.
I
There's
think-
something set
I'm
up in
not
the
saying they're
rule
going
book
to.
for
Yeah, right,
first-time
right, yeah.
offenders. There's something set up for those parameters.
Yes.
So you can't go outside of those parameters because then you're breaking a union policy, and that would be appeals,
Okay,
and he'd still play.
But okay, yeah, we say first time offenders, but if he's got 20 some women saying otherwise, to me that's more than one.
Are these
scenario.
different women or the same women?
No, it's
Same
just,
women.
it's still being accused of one scenario. It's just
Still
one
being-
scenario.
Yeah, the women
and
just
he's
come
only
back
ever
and they
been
want his
in
money
trouble
now.
one time, which is this. So there's parameters set up for that.
And
You
the
can't
one
just
girl
alter that
said
because a union backs
they
that.
found there was new information that came out where the girl said that he touched her with his junk on purpose. She's one of the ones going after that $230 million on purpose. And then she cried, and then they asked why he texted her. And she said, because I felt like something was wrong. Something was wrong with her. She left crying. So that's one of the women that are pushing for that 230. I think they said there was only 2 of them. There's only 2 women that are going after that $230 million.
But they're gonna have, in order for them to win that, there's gonna have to be some kind of solid proof of them toward them the
There would
money.
have to be. You would
I
think.
think
Video.
in that
There'd have to be
picture.
some kind of solid proof.
It'd have
Yeah.
to be.
video or picture or
I mean,
Yeah,
because you
something.
can't just go in there and say, "Well, he did this," but there's no proof. And they
Well, I think
award it,
that's
because anybody in the world could
that
do it.
girl
Right,
that
right.
girl is doing. Like I said, there is proof. The text messages. They have the text messages from him to her about what had happened and why she was crying. So they think that girl is going to win money, and that's what all of a sudden has made the NFL push it. Now they're like, "Come in here, Deshaun. We're going to talk to
But
you."
what was the text? All the text was why you were crying, right?
Yeah, and she said why, and he says I didn't. And I'm not saying it word for word because I don't know word for word, but he pretty much admitted to doing what he did. Like he pretty much said, "Yeah, I'm sorry for that. I just, things got a little twisted or whatever." And then, like he pretty much openly admitted that I did do it. I did, I touch you with my dick.
Well, and that's going to open up a whole nother. That's going to open up a whole nother thing, because if this girl's proven right, they're going to go back and say, "Well, are these other girls telling the
no, I
truth?"
don't think so.
that
Because I think she was already in this. She was already in this thing. I think she just had dug this back up because of the civil suit. It's going to ultimately reward her money. And that's ultimately what they all fucking want. I don't care what anybody says. It's just coincidental that he signs a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, and you're all of a sudden like, we know he's
I
got
got the
money.
text messages.
I think they've already had it. Was what I'm saying. I think the courts already knew. We just got relayed
It'll
the
get-
message.
It won't go through court. I think it'll end up getting settled out. She'll get a couple $1 million, and then he'll send her on her way.
Yep. And then
She'll
I
probably be
think,
set up for the rest of her life.
and I think the NFL is going. I think at first I didn't think he was going to see a suspension.
You probably get, what,
I think
what's the 6 games.
I think he's going to see. I think at max he'll see an 8-game suspension, but I think he walks with. I think he's ultimately serves his 6 games. The Browns would be smart and say, if I'm the Browns GM now, I'm like, hey, dude, like settle this shit. Don't appeal it. Take your 6 games. Our schedule's a bit weak at the beginning, so we can possibly go 3-3, and then we get you in. It's over. It's done. And that's what I would hope. I know he says he's innocent, and he probably very well could be innocent, or he could very well be guilty.
Obviously, he's not if he has the text message from the one.
Right. But it's
That's
still, I don't know what crime that is.
You actually force someone to give you a hand job.
Well,
No, he
also-
didn't. She said she forced. He touched her with his dick.
Also,
That's
he
what he's
said,
pretty much saying.
I know you weren't quoting it word for word,
Yeah.
but, and I'm not backing him or nothing. I don't know anything, but he said in there something along the lines of things got twisted in there. So we don't really know what was being said in there or what was being done at that time.
Or where she was
Or-
rubbing.
Right. Or maybe she
Well,
was.
I didn't say
maybe,
he said it was twisted. I just didn't know how to word that.
No, I know, but
Right,
I'm
I
saying
don't-
maybe that's what he's implying. And maybe there was a situation going on where you would give me a sign of something, and all that gets settled in the court, or if they talk about it, because that still doesn't mean you're guilty. It just okay. So what the hell was going on in the room to even get
Yeah.
to that? There's still that
And like
we
I
need
said,
to
I
find
think
out.
she was part of the original court case. She
Yeah.
was that was thrown out for lack of evidence. So, and just my perspective, I could be very wrong, but this evidence was already there. They already knew about these text messages. They already knew about all of it because they wiped his fucking phone. They knew everything that he had done on his phone for years.
Right.
But I don't understand how that could. I mean, if they said it, obviously that's proof. So why would they throw that out if it's not enough evidence?
Because not enough evidence to charge anybody
Well,
with
if there's
anything.
not enough evidence to charge it, how can she?
But there's
sue
enough
him?
evidence to say that there's a civil suit. There's still enough for a civil suit is pretty much personal damage.
Yes, I know what it is.
You know what I mean? So
but I'm
there's
saying,
still enough
like,
evidence there for her to get rewarded money at some point.
because he made her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then I guess she walked out bawling and crying. It's just they're
Okay,
gonna
but
say
that's
pretty
going to
much-
open up a whole nother.
I can leave
precedent.
here today crying about you touching me, and I can sue you.
That's my
I think
point.
it's just a traumatic.
Yeah.
They're going to say it's traumatic. They're going to reward her with
So
probably a
it's
couple
kinda-
$1 million.
I'm going to shoot from the hip here. I'm going to say this. I'm texting Mike, and I say, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about your window getting broke." And he says, "Yeah, we need to do something about that." And I text back and say, "Yeah, I didn't mean for that to happen." Okay, I didn't technically say I broke it. I just said I didn't mean for it to happen. Okay, so if you take that to the law, they say, well, he's not admitting anything. He's just acknowledging that it was broke. So there's nothing we can do. Well, now he takes me into a civil court and says, I got text messages here saying
So
he
you're admitting
acknowledged
to
it.
breaking the window?
So I'm just saying, like, that's how these text messages are being relayed. Now, when you go to civil court, okay, we got enough to kind of come at you, but we don't have enough to hit you lawfully. That's where he's at. That's the gray area he's in right now.
Yeah,
with that,
it's going to be she's going to be rewarded some amount of money.
I think so. I think
I don't
he's
think it'll
right.
be awarded.
I
I think
he'll settle out of
Yeah,
court.
but she's
I know.
still rewarded money if they
Right,
settle. She's
yeah.
still getting her money,
Yeah.
and I think ultimately it goes back to Aaron and Brent saying, Brent said it. I mean, Aaron said it a lot and said that these civil suits are going to pay money,
Right.
and we all were sort of against it because we kept saying that he's never been proven guilty of anything. But then when you look at the civil side of it, there's a whole lot. We're not lawyers,
And I think that's where the NFL stepping in to get him a suspension, saying, hey, there is some stuff here to say you did do some wrongdoing. Not enough to get lawful, but enough to say your conduct's not cool, man. So we need to step in and
just
punish
going
you.
into court.
And I
is-
get that.
Just going into court is enough for them to
Right,
suspend you. That's
right.
it.
It is.
I mean, there's nothing else you could do
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
You go to court, you're getting suspended. Now, whether or not we give you
Come on, man.
2
It's a new
games,
shirt.
4 games, 6 games, you're
Right.
getting suspended.
And like you said earlier, you know when you sign that contract what you're getting into, and you know that's part of the contract with the conduct policy. So you can't come in it because we've all said before, what was it? They don't have to actually be charged with a crime in order to be suspended. Well, when you sign that dotted line, you're signing saying I'm cool with that. Well,
Yeah,
now
when
you're
you sign
running
that
into it.
union, yeah, you're in it. You're
So
there, and
you
now
can't
you're
fight it.
And then obviously that the union is not supposed to just touch your dick on people, even in a massage.
Well, was he naked or not? Because if it's a naked massage, all things.
I would imagine he's been naked on every single one of these because there's a wiener being involved in all these girls. Lawsuits. So it's the truth, damn it. I mean, he's not sitting there in a pair of pants and saying, suck me. No, bro, he's got that thing out.
Yeah, no, the question, like I say, but you can't they said, oh, he wanted a hand job. My thing is, you can't force someone to give you a hand job.
So there was a woman in the lawsuit. He knows I read it. I don't know if you remember me reading it. That said that he forced her to have oral sex.
Well, you mean you can do that,
But it got
No,
thrown
you
out in
can't.
court because they
You
couldn't
can't force
prove
someone
it.
to give you a hand
you
job,
don't
but you can
grab
force
someone.
one.
You're going to grab someone's hands like, give me a hand job. You can grab someone's head and force
They
it. by
can
yourself.
Oh,
bite
she can't
too.
bite you?
Oh yeah, but your
But she
hand.
didn't?
She's
You
she
wanna
didn't?
grab that
she's
girl's
just
hand.
she's just doing work on it and be like, oh, I didn't want to do this.
But thanks for the extra 500. Appreciate that.
I mean, so what man in their right word going to grab a woman's hand and sit there and do it with a woman's hand?
Mike, why'd you form it like that?
You have to when they're doing it. We got to make it worthwhile.
He did too. He tried to say it. Thank you. Let me show you.
Part of the show. You know? Part of the show.
He's been forced before.
Hey, it's not like
No, I won't do that.
Take my strong hand.
Oh, my cream.
it's like I don't even get Michael's hand off the table and it's formed up. Like,
It's like automatic.
He was ready. He was supposed to grab it.
Bro, I've been to jail.
Oh. Did he say he loved you?
Yes.
Well, it's
Numerous times.
legal.
He gave me icing at the end.
Dear God.
There's a prize every single time. Anyways, that's not going on TikTok.
God, I'm putting it on TikTok.
So, anyways, we have ran a bit over time here.
Good
Like every time.
Yeah, like
do
every, I
every
mean,
time,
we're
yeah.
really not that bad past. We didn't really start till like 6:33, so we're like 10 minutes past what we should have been.
But the program ran 15 minutes fast.
12.
The program
14 minutes.
14 minutes fast, almost
Oh.
15.
I said 12. It's close enough.
Oh, here we go with that guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he said on TikTok, wasn't it?
I know.
83 is 81.
83
Same
is
numbers.
81. Same numbers.
Yeah.
Same numbers.
That's what he said
Yeah.
on
That's what
TikTok.
he said.
What?
Yeah,
He was showing a grading scale for school, and he was like, "Well, 81 is basically 83."
I
We're
was
like,
wondering what you
what?
were talking
No,
about
it's not.
when
Yeah.
you were doing that. TikTok.
"No."
That's what he said.
And he
to me.
was coming at him, calling him stupid
Did
and
y'all watch Dummy's TikTok about the guy?
Okay.
Okay.
About the hairline and the
Oh, it's
physique?
Hunter Renfro.
shit. Oh, Hunter
bro.
Renfro.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He gives me hope, man.
I said he even has the same hairline as me.
Oh.
But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here tonight, man. I hope you guys really enjoyed the show. Once again, we're gonna be back on here in the next couple weeks with the One Chip Challenge. We
We
really
said
want
that
to
a
do
few
this.
weeks ago. Sorry.
Hopefully D has asked his doctor. He's consulted with his doctor. They told him no. But we will bring on guests if they want to eat it with us.
You asked
So hold on, this is a health
No,
issue?
D wanted to. He's had some heart issues, like serious heart
I
issues.
got high blood pressure.
That's not
Ain't gonna
gonna
hurt
hurt
you.
you. Yeah, your face will turn red. But anyways, I'm Mike Ash,
I'm Jay.
Big country.
and this is Sports Cartel, guys. We're
Go
out of here.
Blue.
I got a feeling I deserve it. Now I'm only moving with a purpose.